Hello, my beautiful rainforest friends. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate all of the likes and the subscribes to my channel, even the comments that are being shared. It is letting me know that these readings are resonating with you, and it's motivating me to continue to deliver these messages. It's been really fun so far, and I can't wait to offer more. So, if you don't know me by now, my name is Amanda, illustrator by day and intuitive reader by night. Before we get into this reading, feel free to go grab a tea, sit back and relax. And today we're going to be pulling 3 cards from the Everyday Witch Oracle, which is going to be paired with the Everyday Witch Tarot, and we might get some clarifiers from Wisdom of the Oracle deck over here. So let's get into it and pick our piles together. So I'm feeling this one, and let's do one more shuffle to see if another one comes out. Thank you. All right, and there is pile 3. So for pile number 1, we have Imagine and Envision. For pile number 2, we have Meditation to Dig Deep. And for pile number 3, we have Speak Your Mind. If you'd like to pick with crystals, let me add those right now. So what is so interesting is that the amethyst crystals are in this one, and I just happen to have the amethyst crystal up in this corner. You can rewind and see for yourself. Really weird how these crystals aligned with these cards quite beautifully. I just had to point out that synchronicity. Anyways, let's get into the crystals here. So we have purple Crackle Quartz. This is what your crystal looks like. And then we have the amethyst stone. This is what your crystal looks like for pile 2. And for pile 3, we have Chrysocolla. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And this is what your crystal, aka stone, looks like for pile 3. All right, so if you need to pause the video to spend a little more time choosing your pile, do so now, and we will see you in your reading. Hello, my pile 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Imagine and Envision card with the purple Crackle Quartz. I get a very creative energy from this, a very imaginative energy from this. There could be somebody here who is a writer, a painter, a creator of some kind, somebody with a wild and vivid imagination. Or somebody that needs to activate their wild and, imaginative imagination. So let's see what your cards have to share about this. All right, so we're going to stop there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so for your first card, you got the Magician. Again, a creator. There's definitely a creator here, a manifester, somebody with a lot of tools in their tool belt, possibly a lot of skill set, a lot of knowledge in a particular kind of creative field. You are a great manifester, and you've created a lot of things in your life, whether that is abundance, whether that is just creations in your life. I feel that whatever you imagine and whatever you envision for your life, you're able to bring it to life. You're able to put yourself in action and have a really focused energy in order to create the things that you want to create. And those could be physical things, and those could also be just dreams that you are envisioning for your future. You might be on a new pathway to creating something new, or you may have a desire to bring your imaginary desires to life. You're dreaming of some new places you could go, some new things you can do, and you're kind of in this ideation stage, or you're coming into this stage of starting to create. You're really tuned into your intuition. You're also really tuned and sensitive to your environment around you. But I do get this sense that you are such a wonderful creator. You've created some beautiful things. And I feel this is somebody that might have multiple talents. So you could be a woodworker and a writer, or a singer and a crafter, a illustrator and a cook, or a baker. I feel like there's somebody here who has multiple talents. And so you can kind of imagine anything and bring it to life. You have a lot of skills, you have a lot of knowledge. It could also be self-taught here. You may not have a formal education, which is totally fine. This could all just be creations from your heart, from your gut, from your intuition, and you follow that with great passion. Ace of Pentacles. And because you're doing that, you're attracting a lot of new opportunities, especially from a financial point of view. You might start seeing some opportunities come your way, or the potential to earn money from what you're creating. This may have been, so you might have been, for example, maybe you have a lot of hobbies, and all of a sudden people are starting to see interest and purchasing and supporting that hobby, maybe one over the other. And so there might be potential to earn money with this line of creation. And it might be something to your surprise. It's not something that you expected. It might be something that kind of comes out of the blue. But all you're doing is following your passions, following what's in your heart, and these opportunities for earning money with your creations, with your art, with your craft is starting to find you, starting to come to life. And the Six of Cups. You could have been, this could be a childhood joy that is one of your kind of crafts or one of your skill sets. It could be something that you've been doing since you were a kid, and people are starting to acknowledge that, or you're starting to see the, I don't want to say payoff, but you're starting to see people acknowledge that or take notice of that a little more than usual. I almost get this, maybe you're a florist, maybe you're a gardener, maybe you're a farmer. That could also be part of your passions here too, or also part of a hobby. Maybe you have a really beautiful garden, or you love growing wildflowers and putting together bouquets, and that is something that people are wanting that. It's something that they want. So stay open to that opportunity if you feel like you can manage it, and if it's something that you want to commercialize. Not every little piece of art or every creation has to be commercialized. You're allowed to keep things for yourself too, don't forget. But I feel like there is a very strong pull to one particular direction where it's going to start making you money. So what a cool reading. I'm kind of excited for you, pile one. So Two of Pentacles. And it's in reverse, which means that either you're feeling a little off balance in this process, or you're just not knowing how to decide. either which thing to start selling, or whether you want to sell that thing that people are interested in. Do you want to commercialize it? Do you want to turn your hobby into a full-time business or even a side hustle, for example? Is this something that you want to do? I get the sense that there's an indecision happening here, and it might be throwing you off balance a little because it might have come in unexpectedly. This thing that you've been pouring your heart into, or all of these crafts that you're pouring your heart into, you're just doing it for fun and for the passion of it all, not because you want to earn money. And the earning money part seems to just be falling into your lap. So now you don't know, is this something that I want to do? Should this be something that I monetize? That's something that you might have to sit with and question for a bit before you actually take action on it. But my feeling is that whatever you want to do, because you are a great master magician, you are a manifestor, a creator at heart, I feel like whatever you decide to do, you are going to create no matter what, whether you commercialize it or not. But I feel like there is a question of whether you should or not. It's really kind of caught you off guard with a little bit of surprise. And that's okay. You don't have to rush into this. And maybe you do it for a little bit just to see how it goes and see how you feel about it. But yeah, this just might be another thing that you experiment with, just like all of your other creative tasks and your crafts and all of your creative endeavors that you've explored over the years. And then you have the moon, which means that you are in a bit of a, surprisingly enough, it's taking you to an interestingly dark place. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that because of this indecision, because of the surprise, because of not knowing what you want from this particular opportunity, that you're questioning a lot of things. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. You don't really know whether this will carry you full time. You're kind of coming to terms with the reality of turning this craft or these projects or these creations into a full-time thing. You might get into it and realize this is a lot of work and I don't know that I'm up for it. But you also might ask some questions and start doing it and realize that I want to do it, but there's some things that are holding me back. Could it be you've been in such a creation mode over the last little bit, even your whole life, for example, that's all you really know, so you don't really know how to turn it into a full-time thing or know how to do the business part of this. And that's okay to not know things. It's okay to be uncertain, a little bit insecure about things that you haven't done before. You're in unfamiliar territory, and it might lead you to ask these questions. So don't be afraid of not only asking those questions, but really listening to those answers to see what that instinct is telling you. Always come back to your instinct because that seems to be doing well for you so far. So keep doing that in order to work through this indecision and this uncertainty and kind of foggy area right now. So I'd like to clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Magician to see what other message is there. Woo! Okay, so the Sun came out, so I'm going to take that one. And it's right side up. I feel like your creations and your process and your art or your crafts are really bringing you a lot of joy, not only to you, but to others around you. So definitely keep doing this, whether you monetize it or not, because people, especially you, really find joy in what you're doing. It really brings life to people's lives, and it really brings color and happiness. And so all the more reason to continue to do it. And I kind of love that the opposite energies are here, where there's kind of a darker, unsure side, uncertain, kind of looking at the deeper levels of your subconscious and what you really want, what might be holding you back or preventing you from monetizing it or not monetizing it. And then there's this beautiful energy of just creation for the fun and the passion and the joy of it all. So I feel like that you understand why you do what you do. So definitely don't give up on it. Don't stop doing it. Let's clarify the Ace of Pentacles. Thank you. King of Cups. So you really know how to master your emotions and not make decisions from an emotional place. However, I will say that because you're so good at mastering your emotions, you kind of isolate yourself and maybe make decisions on your own. And maybe that's not something that you should be doing at this time. Well, yes, you're a very strong person and you know what you want, you know what you need, you're very grounded and rooted in those emotions, and you don't let those emotions get the better of you. Definitely don't discount getting advice or getting external opinions. You don't have to take them. You don't necessarily have to listen to everything word by word, but don't discount what others have to share, especially those who might have done this before. This is part of the research process. It might be part of this discovery and trying to decide. You might need to not isolate yourself and bring other people in for a minute, especially if these new opportunities are coming in and you're not really sure what to do or where to go. Then you might need to lean on people who have either more experience or have kind of been there, done that. And even people who haven't done it, who've known you forever and kind of know you better than you know yourself. I feel that there's a couple of people around you like that. So definitely consult with them. And don't make any decisions based out of emotions, based out of fear, based out of limiting beliefs or stress. You know, this should be a very grounded decision. Okay, that was too many, so we're going to put it back and see what else the Six of Cups have to share. Okay, Page of Swords in reverse. So you don't have a plan. This wasn't a plan. You don't have a strategy. And that's okay because it's unexpected. It's unexpected, so you're not really sure what the destination is. It's not something that you're not creating for the sake of making money, so you don't have a destination, you don't have a goal. And now you're kind of wondering, maybe I should. But then again, maybe you shouldn't. Again, like I said, not everything has to be monetized. But if this is something that you want to explore, then a plan may be required. You may need to clarify that and get a little more settled in that before you make the decision. Because you, again, don't want to make decisions from a place of uncertainty, of high emotions. You want to make sure that everything is as balanced as they can be so you can make the best decision possible for you at this time. And don't forget that nothing is set in stone. So if you go down one path and you change your mind, it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change directions, and at least you've gathered the information you need to make that decision. So don't be afraid of making decisions or trying something or experimenting with something. Okay, let's clarify the Two of Pentacles in reverse. That's one too many cards. I think I have 3 or 4 there. Let's just pull the top one. So the High Priestess. So the suggestion here is to come to a balanced decision through your intuition. Tapping into that intuition, taking action through inspiration and passion, and coming back to your kind of your roots of, why am I doing this? And why do I want to make a certain decision one way or the other? And maybe a list needs to happen, maybe a pros and cons list. Again, we've got two elements here. We've got a black candle and a white candle. So again, there's this feeling of decision making, there's this feeling of contemplation, but it comes back to tapping into your intuition, possibly getting quiet, especially after you've gathered some information on these kind of questions here, and tapping into your emotional side and maybe even somebody else to kind of help you along. But we definitely have twos here. Another two here paired with the two. Again, it comes to indecision, but here's the advice, is to tapping into your intuition to become more clear, thinking about the different pathways you can take, and tapping into your emotion on, okay, how do I feel about this? Does it excite me? Does it make me feel happy to monetize it? Or am I doing it because other people want me to? Let's clarify the moon here. Let's see what else the moon has to share with us. That's one too many cards, so I'm going to pull it back. Try again. Yeah, my hands are slippery today. It's a little warm in this room. I apologize. Okay, so the moon. What's the moon all about for pile one? Again, we've got cards flying everywhere. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Okay, well, that one wanted to come out, so we're going to take that one. So Four of Pentacles. So you might not want to move forward because you're hanging on to something. You are worried about losing something. But in holding on to that and hanging on tight to that thing, you are missing the open door to new opportunity here. So that might be something, question to ask yourself in this moon moment is, there's some instability or maybe some insecurity that you're fighting with, maybe some doubt, some internal doubt, and you don't want to lose what you've built or created or what you have, maybe even in the physical form. So if you start selling this thing, are you kind of giving something up, or will you lose something in the process? There might be a fear of losing that creativity or losing that passion or turning your hobby into a chore when this has been such a pleasurable thing for you to indulge in and experience and express. That could be something that you're worried about losing. And maybe it might require an investment on your part too. I'm not really sure. Definitely be careful of things that are too good to be true, because they probably are. So definitely consider the source of the opportunities. Definitely dig a little deeper. Maybe ask a network of other people who have done business with these people before or this person before, just to vet them to ensure that you won't lose any money in the process. Because if we are, a lot of the times, we don't need to invest money in our creative endeavors to make money. There are certain for example, if you hire somebody to help you with marketing or to help you bring a project to life, then obviously you're going to be paying somebody for their time and their experience to help you in that endeavor, in that marketing effort, or in building that thing to bring it to market. But you shouldn't be the only one kind of sacrificing something in order for you to get your stuff out there. There should be an equal partnership. Definitely read the contract in great detail. Hire somebody to review any contracts that are sent your way. That might be with this one too. You might be feeling a little uncertain because you have a contract in hand and you don't know what to do with it. Hire a lawyer to review it and see what they say. That money, especially if it's a great opportunity, will be well spent. You will make sure that your art is protected, you are protected, and that your finances are protected in the long run. So definitely, if it's a big opportunity that you're facing, don't do this alone. Don't do this without knowledge. Don't do this without some kind of legal or professional advice if it calls for it, okay? So we're going to pull a couple of cards, a few more cards. Let's see if we can get it right this time, just to give some advice or outcomes for this particular endeavor. I do get a sense, though, a bit of, I want to say humility, weakness, pardon me. Meekness is what I was trying to say. My goodness. Or maybe you don't feel like your art is good enough. So, King of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, there's a bit of doubt that you can make a real go of this. You can turn this into a full-time, prosperous thing, and that you can actually have everything you want and then some. You can have your creativity. You can have your financial dreams come true, and you can be prosperous in this. And that could be coming back to the moon too. But there's a bit of, as I said before, there's a bit of self-doubt and a bit of meekness in the sense that you're a little uncertain about your art. You're a little uncertain about your abilities. But don't let that stop you from exploring if monetizing what you're doing is something that you're excited about and you want to try and follow. So, 8 of Wands, things could be a little chaotic, or you could feel a little chaotic. But I get the sense that you're going to choose something, and it's just going to, whatever this opportunity is, it's going to come in quick and fast. And there might even be multiple opportunities here, but you're going to just choose one that feels the best, and you're going to run with it and see where it goes. And again, if you have those contracts in place, or if you're just experimenting with something short term, don't be afraid of doing that. But it might feel really chaotic to you because you're just used to following your creative whims, your creative path, kind of doing what you want to be doing. And then all of a sudden this opportunity comes in. It's exciting. It's fun. You want to follow it, but you have a bit of uncertainty. You're a little unsure. You don't really know what you're doing. Maybe imposter syndrome is coming out. Because now it's turned into a professional endeavor and there's a lot of pressure involved, so it feels a little chaotic. Do not let that stop you. Let me just tell you that from personal experience. And you have the Empress here. She is a beautiful card. This is talking about patience. You've planted the seed for this opportunity, maybe in your subconscious, and you didn't even know it. And not only, you following your guiding light is helping you bring this to life, but it's helping you with abundance, bringing abundance to you. And this process might require patience and compassion and kindness and nurturing yourself at this time in order to really see the fruits of your labor. This might be something that doesn't happen. The opportunity might happen really fast, but the momentum might not happen for a little bit. So don't think that it's not working if it doesn't happen right away, or if what you kind of envision doesn't happen right away. These things take time. especially if we're planting seeds and we're nurturing that garden. It just will take the time it needs to bloom and blossom into something beautiful. So be patient in this process. Be patient with yourself too. And I feel at the end of all of this, you are going to have such clarity about what you want to do, whether you want to pursue this as a full-time thing or whether you want to not and do something completely unrelated. I don't know. Whether you want to keep it a hobby or not is what I'm trying to say. And again, she's got a pen in hand. She's possibly got some contracts here on the table. So you may start becoming an expert in this contract business. You might be signing multiple contracts, but I feel at the end of this, you're going to feel so much more empowered, so much more grounded and clear. And you're going to communicate really well because you're going to have the knowledge that you need through this process to make future decisions. And you're just going to know exactly what you want. And you're going to cut through the BS. You're going to just cut to the chase and not meander and get stuck in this indecision energy. You're just going to start making decisions because you've done this before. You have a little bit more experience. You have more confidence. So this is really exciting for you, Pile 1. I would love to hear if there is an opportunity in your future. I'd love to hear what it is all about so that we can all cheer you from the sidelines. This is wonderful. So we're just going to get some closing energy from Wisdom of the Oracle. And then we'll close the reading. And we'll go one more round. This deck is quite a lot bigger than the tarot, so I have to stretch my fingers a bit more. And yeah, I'm gonna get you 2 cards just because that's what I'm feeling. So you have Thinker, which indicates that either you are an overthinker, stuck in decision, you are maybe lean into logic and reason versus emotion to make certain decisions. Maybe you already do that. But definitely don't overthink things, okay? We can get really stuck in thinking and getting stuck in this energy of not deciding in the end. And your never-ending story. See what I mean? And both of these have very similar energy. So if we think too much about something and don't take action, we're just going to get stuck in this never-ending story, in this never-ending thought. And we're never going to get beyond it because we're always going to be stuck in that energy of not knowing, of indecision. So I would encourage you to try to work through that indecision as best you can and come to some kind of a decision, even if it's not one you're clear about or certain about, because new opportunities are scary things. The prospect of success, of wild success, can also be really scary. The prospect of failure in that can also be scary. But don't let those thoughts and overthinking this particular situation keep you stuck. I want you to try to make a decision one way or the other and not get stuck in I can't energy or limited belief energy. Definitely see the potential and definitely appreciate what you have to offer to the world, because I feel it's really beautiful and valuable, whatever it is. And if people want it, and if you can deliver and you feel good about doing that, then please share it with the world. We would love to see what it's all about. But again, if it's not something you want to do, just make sure that you're not doing it for good reason, for your greater good. And if it's not something that excites you or you feel passionate about or feel called to do, then also that's perfectly okay. Don't let the pressures of others, the pressures of these opportunities, push you into spaces that you don't really want to go. Because if you do go down that path when your heart's not in it, it's probably not going to turn out the way you want, and you're going to end up not seeing the fruits of your labor or the success that you're looking for in that opportunity. All right, so pile 1, this was your reading. If it resonated with you today, please give this video a like, comment below to let me know that it resonated, subscribe to my channel, and we will see you in your next reading. Bye, pile 1. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose meditation to dig deep with the Amethyst crystal. And I love how this crystal matches the crystals that are in the card. That was not planned. You saw for yourself, but it's super cool when that happens. So you might need to step into nature. You might need to practice some meditation now. You might need to get your hands dirty, garden, get into nature, plant your feet and your hands in the ground. I don't know why, but this card is coming forward to just share that you might need to do a bit of meditation to connect with your inner self, to unplug and get into a more natural space. So let's see what your reading has to share with us today. Okay, so we've got your cards, your first 5 cards out. And here we go. I'm just going to line these up. 4 and 5. So the first card that came out was the Queen of Pentacles. And what's funny about this, I love the synchronicities happening in these readings right now. But she's a very earth energy, just like this card. And the similarities in these cards are just beautiful and amazing, and I love it. So Queen of Pentacles is about being very grounded and rooted in not only nature, but the things that you want in your life. The being really connected and grounded in your actions and your behaviors, seeing the abundance and really nurturing yourself to make sure that you're living a fulfilling and thriving life. So this could be you, or this could be you. This might be a desire for you, but I feel like you have a lot of abundance right now, or you are dreaming of a lot of abundance right now. You want to feel grounded, and you want to feel like you have everything that you need to nurture yourself. Good food, a healthy home, secure finances, that kind of thing, really good health. So this could be an aspiration of yours. It could even be somebody around you that you look up to, or this could be you. Ten of Wands energy, which is the energy of burnout, but it's in reverse. So I feel like you have gone through a period where you carried a lot. You carried a lot of responsibilities, and it really burned you out. It could have been through passion. You know, even though we're passionate about something, that doesn't mean that it's not hard work. That doesn't mean that it's not going to tire us, exhaust us, burn us out in some way. And so I feel like maybe that's coming in to, maybe as advice, but maybe to share that this is how you kind of get to this energy of abundance, of grounding, is to connect with nature and to be able to release the burdens, to be able to come out of this burnout. This could be a forced situation where instead of you working hard towards a goal and you feeling wonderfully exhausted at the end, and to feel that accomplishment, like I worked really hard and it paid off, almost like you feel the burnout was forced, and you feel like you haven't got to the end yet, but you can't keep going. So there's a feeling of forceful stoppage, and I almost get a sense that your health might be compromised because of the work that you've put in to get to this point. And again, it could have been out of passion, but that doesn't mean it's not hard work and it's not going to tire you out. but I feel like you're at a point where you're not at the end and you're too tired to continue, but you need to continue in order to reach your goals, but you can't. It's a very catch-22 energy that I'm getting here. And death. So in order for us to step into new opportunity, we have to let some stuff go. We have to close some doors. We have to figure out what's not working. And again, this could be a very forced energy at the moment. You may have been forced to stop, to, I want to say stop working or stop doing what you're doing in order to find rest, recuperation, and recover. And also to ask those card questions as to, is this worth it? Should I keep going? Is this paying off? Am I putting my energies into something that isn't really doing it for me, or isn't really leading me to my highest good, or this energy of this earth energy, this nurturing, this abundant energy? Maybe that's what you're working towards and you just feel burnt out from the whole thing. In the world, yeah, you want freedom. You want to be free of the burdens that you've been experiencing. You want to be free of all the work that you've put in and you haven't seen the results yet, or haven't seen the results that you expected. And I do feel that this is a cycle that's ending. We get endings in both of these cards. With the death, you're cutting things out, you're kind of letting things go. And with the world, you're kind of coming to the end of this cycle. So maybe you have everything that you need, but you feel this desire to keep going, but you can't because you're tired and you don't feel like it and you don't want to do it anymore. And that's okay. We're allowed to change our minds. We're allowed to change directions. We're allowed to do U-turns if something's not working out, especially if it's draining you or if it's forcing you into bad health or into burnout or mental fatigue. So this might be a question of, do I want to keep going? Do I want to keep doing this cycle? Or am I coming to an end to it? I get endings with this. So I don't really know what this is. It's not quite clear yet, and it might not be clear because this is a general reading. My goodness. Okay, sorry. Again, this is wild. You're starting and ending and starting. Well, your oracle card is an earth energy, and then you're starting and ending with earth energy, the king and the queen. So I feel like you have what you want, but what you're doing to get what you want is not fulfilling. So you let it go, you look for other opportunities, you end the cycle, and what happens is you come into more abundance because of it. You are aligning your feelings, your intuition with your actions and your behaviors, which then transforms your external world. So what you thought you had was abundant, and maybe you fear going through this and letting things go and changing things up and doing things differently. What happens is, because you are freeing up your energy to doing something that is more aligned, something where you feel more passionate, more energized, more excited, it brings you into even more abundance. Again, financially, health-wise, physical environment, and you're able to share that with the people around you as well. You're able to celebrate that. You have abundance and more. So let's see if we can clarify some of these cards. Queen of Pentacles. There was a card that wanted to jump out, but I didn't catch it in time. For pile 2, please. Queen of Pentacles. Woo! There's one. So the Page of Wands. You're a little uncertain about letting things go, about changing directions and going down a new path. You're a little hesitant, a little unsure, but you have a desire to follow a new passion. And you're not sure if it's going to give you the abundance that you're seeking. Is it going to lead to more burnout? Am I just doing the same things over and over again? Is it going to lead me to the thing that I want, that I truly want? Or is it just going to lead me to more indecision, more doubt? So this one wants to come out for the Ten of Wands. And the Three of Cups. So I feel because of this, you haven't been able to connect with your social circles. You have gone into a bit of a retreat or a depression of some kind, and you just don't feel the joy in life because of where this has led you to where you're burnt out. You have no energy for the people around you. You have no energy for your loved ones. And isn't that the most important thing? But there might be I feel like you used to have a desire to socialize more, go out with friends, have experiences in life, but you just are at the end of your rope. You just don't have the energy for it. So that's kind of getting you questioning, is this worth it? Should I continue? This is not what I want. I'm curious to know what this is all about. What is this death about? Death can be scary, but it's all good. It's all good. Eight of Cups. You feel like you can't walk away or you can't let go because you've built so much and you don't know what's on the other side of this. You kind of want to go back. She's walking this way. The Page of Wands is walking that way. And you've got this conflicting energy. And also you're feeling a lot right now too. So those feelings might be keeping you in this energy of this cycle that you're in, of keeping you stuck in this loop of working until you burn out and not having the energy for the people around you to enjoy your life. I'm going to say that if you haven't done so, if you're stuck in this energy where a burnout has been forced, maybe your health has been compromised in some way, and you aren't able to have the social life or have the experiences with people around you, I would explore meditation, explore connecting with nature. It might do you a lot of good. So what is this cycle about? What is the world? Can we clarify the world, please? Okay, yeah. So, Judgment in reverse. The cycle is that you haven't listened to your intuition. You're resisting the change. You're resisting the resurrection of your spirit, in a sense. Your spirit's telling you one thing, and your mind is telling you another. There's a lot of passion here. A lot of passion and a lot of feeling that goes into this, or that you kind of work from. And I feel like you're not listening to that guiding source that's inside of you, which is maybe why the meditation card came out. It's because you have to reconnect with that in order to end the cycle, in order to let go of this energy and not go back to the same old cycle again, to step into something new and something better. And that could be, like, I'm going back to that again because it's so prominent, is that yes, you may have the money that you need and the food that you have and a great house and all of that material stuff that you've worked for. But the way you've gotten it might not have been in alignment with your passion. But once you start aligning yourself to your passion, to your true calling, it's going to bring in more abundance than you ever imagined. And it doesn't have to be finances. It doesn't have to be stuff. It can be having the time with the people that you love, being able to share your abundance with people that you love. And maybe that's what you're missing, is that you have enough for yourself, but you want to have enough and then some for the people around you. So listening to your call is kind of step 2, tapping into your true spirit through meditation. And meditation doesn't have to be sitting on the ground and closing your eyes for hours and hours on end. It could simply be stepping into nature, connecting with nature, hearing the calls of nature, quietening the voices around you, removing distraction, that kind of thing. Just sitting with yourself for a bit. It doesn't have to be this serious practice, and you don't have to be a master at it. It can just simply be a practice where you unplug and you unplug from the external distractions to plug into your internal world. King of Pentacles. Let's clarify that and see what's going on there. Thank you. King of Swords in reverse. So you don't really have a plan. You're maybe a little unclear. You don't really feel like you have the leadership skills possibly, or the communication skills to reach beyond what you currently have to get into this extra abundant energy. But there's nothing saying that you can't get there. Just because you haven't experienced it yet doesn't mean that you can't. It's just that you haven't experienced it. You haven't worked through it. You haven't walked through it. So maybe this is the time to explore that. Let's put a plan in place. Let's have a strategy. Let's clarify our way forward. Let's clarify what we want and what we don't want. And let's bring some people into the fold here. We don't have to do this alone. Let's re-engage this friendship circle, this network circle, to help us work through this. Could be a mentor as well that kind of helps us through. So a lot of the times we're so close to the matter that we can't see beyond it. We can't see our cycles. We can't see our patterns. We can't see what we need to change. So we need someone from the outside world to be able to identify that, ask those hard questions in order for us to adapt and make changes that we need to move on, to let go, to identify what it is we truly want, and then work from that place. Make decisions from that place. So we're going to get a few more cards for advice and outcome. Advice and outcome. So 2, and then this one 3. Okay, oh boy. So 2 of Swords, we got some decisions to make and we're not making them. It came out sideways. So I'm just going to kind of read it both ways because there's this wobbling energy. Because it didn't come out upright, it didn't come out reversed at autumn, and because it's the 2 of Swords, you don't have the information that you need to make a decision and you're waffling. You don't know what to do and you're in this flip-flopping energy. So and you may be shooting from the hip. You may be not taking proper aim at something. You're just kind of trying something and shooting in the dark and hoping that you land on something, when really we need to dig a little deep, identify the things that are working and not working, what we need to let go of, and where it is that we want to be, and what fuels us, what is our purpose, what is our why for doing what we are doing. And then once we have that information, we can make more targeted, focused decisions. And the King of Wands. With that, I feel like you are not only working from a place of passion and mastery, but you know where you want to go. you're coming into an energy. Once you work through that, you're going to come into an energy of not only reignited passion, but you're going to know exactly where you want to go. You are going to have a more targeted, focused energy that is more clear, more specific, and more rooted in your passions again. You're going to fall in love with your fire again, with your purpose, with your desire. And then the 10 of Pentacles. It's in reverse, which means you're going to have a little bit of doubts, though, that you are going to come into this happily ever after energy. You're worried about that, but do not let that worry of providing for your family or providing for the people around you, don't let that stop you. I mean, this doesn't have to be a complete stop of doing what you're doing. That's not what we're saying here at all. So if something's not working, then take steps to work yourself out of that and to find something new without flipping the table. You don't have to flip the table in order to make changes. It doesn't have to be a full stop. It can be subtle changes, and it can happen over time. It can be transformative over a period of time. It's just identifying what are those small things, small changes you can make right now in order to start aligning with those new goals. We're going to get just one more card because I feel like that I don't want to end on the 10 of Pentacles. Thank you. So yeah, 4 of Cups. Do not regret here. Whatever you do not regret the decisions that you made. Do not regret the decisions that you're going to make. And do not focus on your failures at this time. Focus on the new thing that's coming in. Focus on your new direction, your new focus, the abundance that you're looking for, the new aligned passions that you want to be connected with, the people that you want to spend more time with. And there might be a little bit of sorrow. So definitely don't dismiss or discount the emotions that might come up during this process, but don't get stuck there. Work through them and acknowledge them, but don't allow them to keep you stuck or prevent you from getting into an abundant energy and, for you to get into this energy of what you want. So we're going to pull a couple of oracle cards to end your reading. Let's see what this oracle deck has to say. Oh, so 2 came out. And look at that. We talked about cycles earlier, and here we are. Round and round. But notice that each time we go round and round, we're getting a little bit more knowledgeable in the process, a little bit more wisdom, a little bit larger. We're growing. So definitely don't worry about starting and ending cycles, letting things go, because you are learning. You are taking that information and integrating that in your new chapter, your next chapter, whatever that looks like, whether it's a short or a long chapter, I don't know. But definitely don't see the cycles as a bad thing, because each time you go around, you're learning something new. And you figure out what you want, what you don't want, all of that great stuff. And I want you to imagine, this is such a beautiful card. I absolutely love this card. It gives me such a great feeling, and I love the color pairing. Buddy, I want you to, if anything, at this moment in time, imagine what it looks like, what your life looks like if everything worked out. I want you to imagine those possibilities. Imagine that wonderful outcome. Imagine your happily ever after. Spend some time even meditating on that and manifesting that. And imagine who you could become and who you could step into. And just imagine all the beautiful changes in your life that you want to have happen. All right, pile 2, this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it today. Please give this video a like if it resonated and comment below to let me know that it did. Subscribe to my channel so you can help the channel grow and you don't miss my next reading. And we will see you in the next one. Bye, Pile 2. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Speak Your Mind card with the Chrysocolla stone / crystal. So speak your mind. I feel, well, I mean, it's clear you might have to start speaking up in a specific situation or with somebody. You may need to find a little bravery in order to do that. You might not be doing that enough. So you might need to work on that a little bit, of speaking your mind, of speaking up, sharing your thoughts and opinions, of sharing your point of view, especially when it comes to work or creative project or collaboration you're with. But allow it to, I just want to say this, allow it to be equally exchanged. This isn't about overbearing communication. This is about an equal exchange of energy through communication. Everybody being respected in the process and everybody hearing each other's points of view. So you might be in a situation where not everybody's point of view is being heard, and that might be yours that's not being heard. I don't know. Let's see what the cards have to share. All right. So we're going to start there. That was 3. This one's 2. I sometimes close my eyes when I shuffle, so I don't necessarily know when they all come out. But it doesn't matter. The messages are still going to be there regardless of the order that they're in. So, King of Pentacles. I almost get similar energy here. King of Pentacles energy in both of these cards. So this could be you. Or this could be an energy that you're seeking, or somebody around you that might be able to help you with this. But there is an abundance of energy here, of earthly energy, material wealth. And by wealth, I don't necessarily mean money. It could be health, physical environment, nurturing food, and money could also be a thing. There's definitely an abundance of it here in this energy. It could be somebody that you look up to or who you look to for assistance here to be able to come into this energy of speaking your mind. And you have the World in reverse. You're trying to break cycles here. And I instantly get the sense that you're trying to break cycles or communicate better with some kind of fatherly figure. Now, this doesn't have to be a masculine figure. It is just an energy. So a fatherly figure could be male or female, but the energy is masculine. And it could be that you're trying to have better communications with that person. So, and maybe to feel more understood or to break a specific cycle, this person and you might have had a lot of miscommunications in the past, possibly a lot of disagreements, and you're trying to come to this equal exchange of communication and energy when it comes to sharing how you feel, sharing what you think, and trying to find common ground. And that's kind of the energy I get in this one too. You're trying to break that cycle of not communicating well and not being able to hear each other out and understand each other on a level that you both, I feel, deeply want. So it's about breaking cycles with somebody who's close to you in your life, that has a very masculine or masculine energy. So 10 of Cups, again, we come back to family. This could be somebody in your family for sure, and emotions may have ran high at some point. There also may have been, I see lots of good times too. So this definitely doesn't have to be riddled with conflict at all. But again, I get the sense of abundance. There is a solid foundation here. Or maybe this is something that you seek as a solid foundation. You want to put an end to this cycle. You want to live a happier existence between the two of you, and maybe not pass that on to your own family. You want to break the cycle for the benefit of your own family. And this is a new journey. This is definitely new energy coming in. And there is a sense of going it on your own. And you might come to agree to disagree. And this is a brand new journey that you're on. It's because you're breaking the cycle, you're doing new things, you are taking new pathways, you are learning. So do not be afraid of this new journey. It's helping you create a structure, and it's giving you a map to where you want to go, especially with the experience that you may have had with this person. It might have been a very tumultuous or rough situation, but it is informing this brand new adventure, this brand new path. It's giving you a map to where you want to go and where you don't want to go. And you are excited to start this new journey. The Three of Wands. So you have a very focused energy about this. This is something that's really important for you to work through, whether this person is in it or not. This is something you are determined to change, to manifest into existence, because you want to have this happy energy and this emotional fulfillment, either with yourself, with the family that you've created, or the family that you've built. And it's just something that you're very determined in doing, breaking that cycle, finding better ways of doing things, communicating more clearly, communicating with more compassion and kindness. And I feel like you are bringing that into existence. You are very focused, and that ship is coming in. Your energy is not scattered. It is not coming from a place of high emotion. It's not chaotic energy. It is an energy rooted in a deep need and desire. It is rooted in your greater good and rooted in wanting to move on to something better. So that's amazing and awesome. So let's start clarifying now. This one wanted to come out. So Queen of Swords. This could be parental figures, generally speaking. But I get a sense that you have somebody in your family who is very clear, very to the point, almost blunt. I don't know if they're cold at all, but I also get the sense that they are very nurturing and at the same time. So, and I feel like you might appreciate that because you know where you stand with them. And yeah, there's no BS with this other person. Maybe this is you. I don't know. Maybe this is something you desire with that person, is you don't want any BS between the two of you. You want to have clear, concise communication, to the point, no beating around the bush. You want it to be respectful communication. You want it to be, an equal exchange. You want to be clear-headed. You don't want emotions to run high. Let's clarify this world. There might be a resistance to the cycle ending too, I'll just say, because it's in reverse. Or there might be a sense of a lack of freedom because, or like a stuck energy, like you can't get beyond the cycle. And the Four of Swords, which came out in reverse, I feel like you got to a point where you couldn't deal anymore and you were forced to kind of step away, step out, take a break, take a breather. It mentally exhausted you. And that might be the catalyst for change, is the fact that you realize or come to realize that you're spending way too much time and energy trying to change somebody that doesn't wish to change. And that's such a heartbreaking thing to come to terms with when you are open minded and you want to communicate with somebody in an honest, respectful manner, or at least have come to some kind of understanding about something and you can't. It's almost like a stalemate happens where you're willing to change, but they're not. And so you can't go beyond that. You can only offer up so much of your energy and effort. You cannot do all the heavy lifting. The other person has to do an equal amount of work in order for it to be equally beneficial. So you might come to this point where you're done. You're done with the cycle. You're done being stuck in the cycle. And this forced break, this mental exhaustion, this burnout is kind of like the straw that breaks the camel's back. So the Ten of Cups. Yeah, look at the Five of Swords energy in reverse. So you're letting go of the fights, of the disagreements, of the conflict, and you're letting this other person, I want to say win, but they're not playing fair and you don't want to participate anymore. You want to focus on having a happier existence. Even if it's just yourself, even if you don't have a family, you want to have a happier, emotionally fulfilling life. And so that's where you want to focus your energy. So you're going to be letting go. And you might have some challenges doing that because this isn't the ideal outcome that you want. This isn't something that you want to have to do. But again, I'll come back to, it has to be an equal exchange of energy, an equal exchange of work, effort, communication. And if one person is not holding up that end, then it's not going to work. It's going to fall apart, or it's not going to change. And so I feel you will come to that conclusion, and you're going to stop fighting. Page of Pentacles energy and the Page of Swords in reverse. So you're not acknowledging how much knowledge and wisdom you have about this situation or this person. You feel like you've done something wrong, like you are unclear, or you feel like you have no right to feel the way you feel or think the way you think. And that's simply not the case. So I think you're going to kind of say, screw that. I'm just going to ignore that and carry on, because it's going to weigh on you if you start worrying about what this other person thinks of you. And maybe that's what that is you're worried about what other people think, or what other people will think if you take this new path, if you start breaking the cycle. Is my world going to fall apart? Are people going to look at me in an idealistic way? And if they do, then that's on them. You cannot change how people are going to think or feel about you. You have to first align with who you are and what you want to attract the people and that emotional fulfillment that you're seeking. Because I guarantee if somebody has a problem with you making certain decisions for your own good, there's concern. I'm concerned about you doing this because I love you. But then there's also control and manipulation from a very extreme end of somebody not liking what you're doing. Are they wanting to keep you in this loop? Are they wanting to keep you in this cycle and make you feel guilty for it? It's just something to watch out for there is just consider the source of where these thoughts are coming from. Is it coming from a place of loving concern, or is it coming from a place of they aren't getting what they want? So they're mad that you're doing the thing, or you've decided to go your own way. Three of Wands. Let's see what that's about. Thank you. The Emperor. You might come into some energy, there might be a little instability here because you are pushing against, I want to say, authority, especially if it's a parent or multiple parents, or even just people that you look up to or you've been close to. And because you're doing what you want to do, it might ruffle some feathers and create a little bit of instability. But don't doubt your ability to lead yourself to a higher purpose, a higher sense of feeling and being. Just because you don't really see what's ahead doesn't mean that those things aren't good. It's just unknown, it's unexplored. And it's only temporary too. If you do come across some instability, know that it's only temporary and that you will start to come into a leadership role, find a new routine, find a new structure. So we're going to get a few more cards for final outcome and energy. 3, and we'll do 2 more. Okay. So we'll turn that over for now, just so we focus on this card, the Empress. So this is about nurturing, planting the seeds, abundance, creation, and patience. And you might be having this impatience in this situation. You might be having a lot of impatience because you're planting seeds, but you're not seeing any rewards. You're not seeing any abundance. You're not seeing any progress. And so there's a lot of impatience here. You're acting out of intuition. You're acting out of your deepest desires. You're trying to plant good seeds, but nothing is coming to light. And the Hierophant in reverse. So you are challenging tradition. You are challenging beliefs. You are challenging values. You're questioning all of that. Maybe even doubting it, which could be the reason for this change, is that your beliefs and values might be different than the close familial people in your life. And maybe that's where the misunderstanding is happening, is that you are stepping out of those traditions and stepping out of that formal way of living life to live a different life, a more free life, a more spiritual life. And so there's a misunderstanding and a miscommunication happening because of that. And 7 of Wands, you've really had to stand up for what you believe in here. You've really had to fight for it. You've really had to help people understand it. And you've really been, I get the sense you've been targeted in a sense because of this. But you've really been coming to your own rescue. And because you have some page energy here, I feel like you are starting to come into an energy of being okay with that, of not having that support, of building the family that will support you and be that emotional support network for you. And maybe that's the fear or the doubt here, is that if you step away from the familiar, from the tradition, from the known, from the comfort, that you're just going to end up lost in a sea of nothingness. But I feel like you're coming into this independent energy where you're kind of doing it no matter what. And you will find your people in the process because you are aligning with things and people that are that share similar values, similar habits, similar routines, and likes and joys and passions. And so it's natural that a new network will be built. So this tells me that there might be a sense of feeling outed in some way. And that may be a result of starting this new journey, of agreeing to disagreeing and going your own way, of speaking your mind and reaping some kind of consequence. Or there is a fear of isolation. There is a fear of being outed or being stuck in the cold, of not having the resources that you need to survive and thrive. And I don't know. I mean, that could be a temporary situation, or it could simply be a fear. But when we do new things and when we shake up our world, when we challenge the people around us, it can turn into some strange and unusual circumstances. But it's only temporary until you come into this energy of finding your people, finding where you fit in. All right, so a couple oracle cards here to end your reading. So we've got poised. I feel like this is a good sign. You are not only preparing yourself and being poised for this new chapter, but you're going to come into a joyful energy because of it. It might not be right away because it is a little unsettling, but you are going to come through this with grace, and you are going to feel so excited and fulfilled. She's jumping for joy. She feels free. And you're just prepared. You're ready for this next chapter, even if you might not see it right now. And you might have to be okay with the unfinished business that you're leaving behind, the unfinished symphony. That doesn't necessarily mean that it will be unfinished forever, but it may need to be unfinished for now as you end this cycle to step into a new cycle, step into your new path, to speak your truth and speak your mind, and whatever those consequences are, they'll take you to a beautiful place. But your old life or the unfinished business is still unfinished, and you might have to come to terms with that and be okay with that for now. Okay, my friends, pile 3, this was your reading. If it resonated in some way, please give this video a like, comment below, and subscribe to my channel to help the channel grow. And we will see you in your next reading. Bye, pile 3.